You can only understand what you are doing when you are executing your ideas. You see, the 90-day challenge, it was to make $100,000 in 90 days. And it was also to teach me more about the type of business that I would like to have. Why, the type of problem I would like to solve, and who I can potentially help. It helped me identify that I had a good idea. And once I started adding action behind it, and once I started adding things to do behind it, once I started recognizing that the work that I was doing was having me identify the idea that I had, it validated that I had a strong idea. But just because I had a strong idea doesn't mean nothing if I'm not willing to act upon it. You have to be willing to act on your idea, because if you're not acting on your idea, people are not going to see what you have been thinking about, what you have been doing, what you have been working on. You see, last year, 2024, January 2024, around this time, I attended a business cohort, a veterans business cohort called Action Zone. And when I went to this program, it was something I wasn't expecting, because I just knew I wanted to have a business. I wanted to be in business, but I didn't know what type of business I wanted to have. I thought I wanted to have a social media business. I thought I wanted to have an advertising business. I thought I just wanted to really connect with others through social media, because I understood social media. Now, what I didn't recognize is that even though I understood social media, I had to narrow down my search. I had to narrow down my idea. I had to narrow down my thoughts, because my idea was too broad. One thing that I've learned while being in that cohort, because they let me attend it multiple times, is that you can't speak to everyone, but you can speak to someone, and you can only speak to someone when you're taking the right action. You see, the idea came from me wanting to have a business, wanting to start a business, and I'm still learning that the idea is constantly growing, it's constantly being produced, because I'm taking action for myself. I'm taking action on the work, and I'm executing on the education that I have received. There's a difference to be educated and not do anything with the education that you have. Whereas when you are educated and you start acting upon it, your ideas start to strengthen, your ideas start to grow, your ideas start to flourish. Because it's something that you are acting upon, because you are educated in this area. Now, I'm not saying I know any and everything. I got tons of books behind me, but I haven't read all of them. One thing that I've learned by reading many books is that first you have to shift your mindset to know that you can do it. That you know that you can become more, to know that you are evolving. See, your idea matters. It's why it matters. When I started my podcast half a decade ago, I started because I wanted to make a difference. I started because I wanted to just help others, or just to help strangers, or just to help someone. I started it because I was going through. I started because I was going through a phase. I started it because I had an idea. There's a process that Denzel Washington say. First, you have to learn what you want to do. You have to have an idea and learn and get educated on why this idea is either strong or not strong. So you have to be educated. And then in the same video, he say first you learn, then you earn, then you teach. But first I'm still learning. See, your idea is only an idea if you're not willing to learn more about it. The reason why the second point of action is so important, excuse me, it's because you have to be willing to understand that there's a process that you have to go through. There's a process that you have to experience. You can't skip steps, but you can go through every step, one step at a time. And so you have to be willing to always learn. See, the action comes from you learning on the job. There's a thing that says when you learn on the job, you retain, you understand, you keep more information, because you are learning on the go. You are learning as you are doing. You are learning as you are improving, because you have to be willing to mess up. You see, the reason why I love this podcast, the reason why I love the name of this podcast is failure is knowledge, because you have to be willing to fail first before you see any kind of success. Because as you're failing, you're learning. As you're failing, you're growing. As you're failing, you're improving. You see, you can only improve when you first have an idea. And once you have this idea, you have to be willing to act on the idea. Because a wasted knowledge, wasted education is nothing if it's not acting upon. And so I'm learning. on the go. I'm learning so quickly. I'm learning because I have an idea. My idea is constantly growing because I'm constantly growing with my idea, and eventually my idea comes with the action that I'm taking. You can't get better if you're not willing to take action on your idea. See, starting a business is a process because first you have to have an idea. What is the idea that you want to pursue?